Before we dive in, take a moment. Did you know that the average person spends roughly 13 years of their life watching television? Now consider this. What if a fraction of that time was spent understanding our own bodies and our intimate experiences? Hit that like button if you've ever pondered the mysteries of your own sexuality. Share this video with anyone who's ever been curious about this topic, and don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening discussions. What are your thoughts or experiences with the topics we're about to explore? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Warning, does solo pleasure destroy your sex life? The shocking truth, unveiling the mystery, self-love in your intimate world. Ever wondered about the silent companion in many of our lives? Masturbation, solo sex, self-love, call it what you will. Is it a harmless pleasure, a natural part of human sexuality, or a secret saboteur undermining our intimate relationships and overall well-being? Dr. Reena Malik, a distinguished urologist and pelvic surgeon, is here to guide us through the intricate landscape of masturbation, separating fact from fiction and shedding light on its often misunderstood role in our lives. Prepare to have long-held beliefs challenged as we delve into the surprising pros and cons and meticulously debunk the pervasive myths surrounding this incredibly common human behavior. Consider this staggering statistic. Over 90% of men and a significant 75% of women across the globe report engaging in masturbation regularly. Laumann et al., 1994. This prevalence alone suggests that it's far from an anomaly. But why this widespread practice? Beyond the immediate gratification, numerous individuals report a cascade of positive effects. Enhanced mood, improved sleep quality, and even heightened focus are frequently cited benefits. The underlying science is compelling. The act of masturbation triggers the release of a powerful cocktail of neurochemicals within the brain. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, surges, creating feelings of euphoria and satisfaction. Wise, 2004. Oxytocin, often dubbed the love hormone, is also released, fostering feelings of bonding and relaxation. Carmichael et al. In 2001. Serotonin, a key regulator of mood, contributes to a sense of well-being. Young, 2007. While endorphins, the body's natural pain relievers, offer a sense of calm and can alleviate stress. Becker et al., 2002. Furthermore, masturbation serves as the ultimate form of safe sex. In a world increasingly aware of sexually transmitted infections, solo pleasure offers a risk-free avenue to explore one's own sensuality. It provides an invaluable opportunity for self-discovery, allowing individuals to intimately understand what brings them pleasure without the complexities and potential anxieties associated with partnered sex. This self-awareness can be transformative, empowering individuals to communicate their desires and needs more effectively with future or current partners, ultimately enriching their shared intimate experiences. Hurlburt and Apt, 1994. For some, it offers a sanctuary of pleasure, free from the pressures of intimacy or the fear of performance anxiety, allowing for a more relaxed and self-directed exploration of their sexuality. Shattering the myths, blindness, hairy palms, and the sinful stigma. Let's confront the elephants in the room, the age-old myths that have shrouded masturbation in fear and misinformation. The notion that masturbation will make you go blind or give you hairy palms is so deeply ingrained in some cultures that it's almost become a comical trope. However, the sheer absurdity becomes apparent when juxtaposed with the aforementioned statistics. If nearly 90% of the male population engages in regular masturbation, one would expect a significant proportion of the global population to be visually impaired with unusually hairy hands, a reality that simply doesn't exist. This myth, like many others, often stems from historical and religious viewpoints that stigmatize masturbation as sinful or indicative of a lack of self-control. While respecting individual belief systems, it's crucial to underscore that these myths lack any scientific basis. They are remnants of outdated moralistic stances rather than factual realities about human physiology. The truth about erections, debunking the dysfunction myth. A prevalent concern, often whispered in online forums and confided in medical professionals, is the fear that masturbating every day will ruin my erections and my ability to have a normal sex life. This brings us to myth number 2. Masturbation does not cause erectile dysfunction. In fact, the physiological processes involved in masturbation can be quite beneficial for sexual function. Reaching orgasm through masturbation involves the rhythmic contraction of the pelvic floor muscles, the very muscles crucial for achieving and maintaining erections, as well as experiencing satisfying orgasms during partnered sex. Burnett, 2007. Regularly engaging these muscles through masturbation can be seen as a form of exercise, potentially strengthening them and contributing to better sexual responsiveness. However, this positive association comes with 2 significant caveats, both deeply intertwined with modern influences on sexual behavior. The pornography paradox, a double-edged sword. The first caveat is the pervasive influence of pornography. The last few decades have witnessed an unprecedented surge in the accessibility of online pornography, and this has coincided with a reported increase in erectile dysfunction, particularly among younger men. Park et al. 2016. This correlation doesn't necessarily imply direct causation in all cases, but the mechanisms through which pornography can contribute to erectile difficulties are becoming clearer. The highly stylized and often unrealistic depictions of sexual encounters in pornography can desensitize individuals to the nuances of real-life intimacy and sexual stimulation. The intense and often rapid gratification offered by pornography can recalibrate the brain's reward system, making slower, more intimate forms of sexual activity seem less stimulating in comparison. Kuhn and Galanat, 2014. Furthermore, the consumption of pornography can foster unrealistic expectations about sexual performance and appearance, leading to significant performance anxiety in real-life encounters. The pressure to replicate the often unattainable scenarios depicted in pornography can create a cycle of anxiety and erectile difficulties. Ironically, the ability to achieve an erection during masturbation can sometimes offer a temporary boost in confidence, but this can be quickly undermined by the anxiety surrounding partnered sex and the fear of not meeting self-imposed, pornography-influenced standards. The stress of performing then directly interferes with the physiological processes required for achieving and maintaining an erection, perpetuating a vicious cycle of anxiety and dysfunction. The guilt factor. When beliefs hinder biology. The second caveat revolves around the emotional and psychological impact of guilt associated with masturbation. If an individual's personal or religious beliefs lead to feelings of shame or guilt surrounding their self-sexual activity, this can have a profoundly negative impact on their overall sexual function and mental well-being. Research has linked feelings of guilt related to sex, including masturbation, to increased levels of anxiety and depression. Brotto et al. 2008. These negative emotional states can directly interfere with sexual arousal and the ability to achieve erections. It's crucial to emphasize that abstaining from masturbation is a perfectly valid choice if it aligns with one's personal values and brings peace of mind. However, if the desire for self-pleasure exists alongside feelings of guilt, seeking guidance from a sex therapist or counselor can provide a supportive space to explore and potentially resolve these conflicting emotions, ultimately leading to a healthier relationship with one's own sexuality. Sensitivity and the myth of overstimulation. Myth number 3 posits that when you masturbate too much, it reduces your sensitivity. While not entirely inaccurate, the reality is more nuanced than a simple cause and effect relationship. Habituation plays a significant role here. If an individual consistently employs a specific technique, device, or level of pressure during masturbation, their body can become accustomed to that particular form of stimulation to reach orgasm. Consequently, different types of stimulation, such as those experienced during partnered sex, might feel less effective in eliciting arousal or orgasm. This isn't necessarily a reduction in overall sensitivity, but rather a specific habituation to a particular type of stimulation. Prowse et al., 2015. To mitigate this, it's beneficial to incorporate a variety of techniques and levels of stimulation during masturbation, mirroring the range of sensations one might encounter during sexual intercourse. Experimenting with less pressure or vibration, if those are not typical aspects of partnered sex, can also help maintain broader sexual responsiveness. Furthermore, consistently applying excessive pressure or manipulating the genitals in a particular way, e.g., forceful stroking or bending, can sometimes temporarily affect local nerve sensitivity. Being mindful and thoughtful about the techniques used during masturbation can help preserve a wider range of pleasurable sensations. The question of too much, frequency, and its impact. Myth number 4 boldly claims you can masturbate too much. For the vast majority of individuals, this simply isn't true. Engaging in masturbation daily, whether for pleasure, stress relief, or simply enjoyment, is generally considered a normal and healthy behavior. The point at which masturbation becomes potentially problematic is when it begins to interfere with other aspects of daily life. If the urge to masturbate becomes a strong compulsion that is difficult to resist, leading to the neglect of responsibilities, social engagements, or intimate interactions with a partner, then the frequency might be considered excessive in the context of its impact on overall well-being. Coleman, 2003. This isn't about an arbitrary number of times per day or week, but rather about the functional impact on an individual's life. Interestingly, in some specific medical contexts, such as in men experiencing chronic pelvic pain or testicular pain, healthcare professionals might actually recommend regular masturbation a couple of times a week as a potential stress relief mechanism and a way to potentially alleviate some types of discomfort. Anderson et al., 2005. While the data supporting this is not extensive, anecdotal evidence suggests that for some individuals, the muscle relaxation and endorphin release associated with orgasm can provide a degree of symptomatic relief. Relationship status and solo pleasure. Dispelling the connection. Myth number 5 incorrectly asserts that masturbating means that you have a bad relationship. This couldn't be further from the truth. Many individuals in healthy, loving, and committed relationships continue to engage in masturbation, either separately or even together as a form of shared intimacy and exploration. Solo masturbation in a relationship is not a reflection of a lack of love or desire for one's partner. It can serve various purposes, such as individual stress relief, exploring personal desires, or simply enjoying a different form of sexual pleasure. In fact, open communication about sexual needs and preferences, including masturbation, can actually enhance intimacy and understanding within a partnership. There is no inherent conflict between a strong relationship and individual or mutual self-pleasure. Testosterone and the orgasm. Paradox separating fact from ancient fiction. Finally, myth number 6 claims that masturbation lowers testosterone. This is unequivocally false. Scientific evidence consistently demonstrates that the opposite is true. Orgasm, whether achieved through masturbation or partnered sex, actually leads to a temporary increase in testosterone levels. Exton et al. 2001. Following orgasm, testosterone levels naturally return to their baseline. There is no evidence to suggest that masturbation depletes the body's overall testosterone stores. This myth has surprisingly deep historical roots, dating back to ancient Greek and Roman times, when athletes would abstain from sexual activity, including masturbation, before competitions, believing it would enhance their aggression and performance. Similarly, some modern athletes have adhered to this belief. However, scientific research has largely failed to support the notion that sexual abstinence significantly boosts athletic performance through increased testosterone. Booth et al. 1989. Therefore, there is no physiological reason to endure unnecessary abstinence based on this unfounded myth. Embracing self-care and sexual well-being. Thank you for joining this exploration into the often misunderstood world of masturbation. We've journeyed through prevalent myths, uncovered scientific realities, and hopefully shed new light on this natural and often beneficial human behavior. Remember, understanding your own body and your sexuality is a crucial aspect of overall well-being. Take care of yourselves, both physically and emotionally, because you are absolutely worth it. Before you go, give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. Share it with anyone who might benefit from this discussion, and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful content. What are your biggest takeaways from today's discussion? Let us know in the comments below.